Hey guys, it's Brigitte, and I'm in the orchard. I'm going to talk about an epic failure that we had. Oh, please don't do what I did. But before I get into that, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button so you're notified anytime we put out a video, and so that I can be a part of your growing journey. Okay, so I'm human. I make mistakes. Things happen. We've been a little busy on the farm, and I didn't thin my fruit as much as I should have. And because of that, we had an epic failure that is really, really sad. If you come around here, you can actually see on this other side of the branch that I had to saw off one of our main leaders on this fruit tree because it simply snapped under the weight of the fruit. Now, this year we've had really amazing stone fruit weather. It was cold and it was wet for a very long period of time, so we have a lot of fruit to show for that, which is really exciting. But please do not make the mistake I made and not thin your fruit enough so that something like this happens. Now, the fruit tree or the branch just snapped under the weight of the fruit because I was greedy. I thinned it a little bit. We got busy, I forgot, things happened. It's really hard to take fruit off of a branch because you're so excited about eating that fruit later on in the season. But because of that, I lost all the fruit on that branch because it snapped, it hit the ground, and the fruit wasn't ready. And even though I tried to ripen it on the counter, it really wasn't very sweet, and it was really a total waste of energy. So the other thing that's so sad about this is not just did I lose all that fruit, but also where this snapped, I actually lost the graft. So this is a multi-graft tree, which means that it has multiple different types of peaches on it, and it snapped and I lost all of that branch, which was one of the grafts, one of the varieties of peaches that now will no longer grow on this tree. So please, again, this is a public service announcement for all of you who have orchards. Don't make the mistake I made. So let's go back a little bit and talk about what I should have done. So what I should have done is come out here and thoroughly and very aggressively picked off fruit when the fruit was really small. Now I did. I came out here a little bit with my coffee and I picked some fruit, and you know, let's be honest, I kind of didn't do a great job, obviously, because the branch broke. Now I have a scenario like this where I have this branch and I have all this fruit on here. And it's very difficult to go in here and pull off fruit because it hurts. You see this beautiful, gorgeous fruit and you want to leave it on there. But there's two things that are going to happen. One, as you can tell, I have this branch already tied up because it's so heavy it's leaning. So it could break, which we don't want that to happen again. And I have wasted time and energy for this tree to grow the fruit to this size for me to pick it off. I don't want to wait until the fruit is this big. I want to pick off the fruit when it's really small like this, okay? Because I've wasted energy and time for this plant growing a fruit that's this big that I just simply have to get rid of. So I know it's difficult and I know it's something that is very hard to do, but please do it because otherwise you could have some really big issues. So the big question I always get is, well, how do you know what to pick and what to leave? Well, there's lots of different ideas and theories, but more or less the idea is if the tree is under 5 years old, which this one is, you really don't want more than one fruit every 1 inch, more or less. And if you Google that or look it up, you'll see that there's kind of different standards. And it also depends on where the fruit is on the branch. You can see this is heavily laden with fruit on its tips, where it's most likely to break. So I need to come in here and start pulling these off. And how would I decide? Well, typically what I do is I try to go to the end of the plant. So I've got the tip here. I'm going to move backwards because we know that the tip is the thinnest, it's the most tender, and it's the most likely to snap. I'm going to look at it and I'm going to find a cluster, and I've got a cluster of 5 right here. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to pull off at least 2 of that 5. So now I only have 3. And what's really sad is look at this. That's a complete waste. It can go in my compost, so you know that's great. But this is rock hard, it's gonna have no flavor, and the plant wasted energy making these. So don't make that mistake. So I'll keep going through here. I usually like to look and see If there's a big cluster, are there a couple that are a little more puny? Let's get rid of those. And I try to do it in an opposite pattern so that the fruit is not touching each other. So the other thing that I'm doing is I'm opening up airflow, okay? I'm allowing the plant to have airflow around each fruit so that we don't have as many pest issues. And I know, look how hard this is. I mean, I'm telling you, that hurts. I really made a boo-boo this year, but we were busy, things happen, I'm human. But if I don't do something now, I could be even more unhappy if this branch breaks. If this branch breaks, then we're really out a whole tree. So take your time and go through and thin these out. Another really good example is this down here. See this branch, how heavy it is and how it's falling down? I want to go in here and find these smaller ones and I want to take them off. I don't need 7 on this tiny little end piece. And the other thing that this is going to do is it's going to allow for the ones that are remaining on here to get bigger. Which, I don't know about you, but I like some big juicy peaches, and the bigger they are, you know, the easier they are to peel, to make jam and things like that. I don't want a bunch of really, really small ones. Now you can tell as I'm breaking this off, the branch is getting lighter. This doesn't seem like a lot of weight, but when you have 10 of these on the end of a branch, that really weighs it down. Something else I want to point out here is this netting. This is a very simple, easy way that you can keep birds off of your trees. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt to use because it sticks to everything. It will easily rip off your leaves if you're not careful, but I like it because I put it on when they're at the peak of their fruiting, and then I take it off for the rest of the year, and I don't have to have something that's permanent. It's really nice because it's inexpensive, it's easy to use, and I can reuse it year after year. Now let's go look at another fruit tree I have that we did actually thin the fruit, and you can see how much better and happier it looks. Come on. So this is my prize snow peach tree, and you can tell it's gotten a lot more love than the other peach tree that we have because it's one of my all-time favorites. I know I'm showing favoritism, that's not a good thing to do. But you can see, oh my gosh, look, 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 this one's ready. Oh, look at that, 2. Oh, look how beautiful those look and how big they are. And they are that big because we thinned them. And you can see I still could have thinned more. You can see down here, like this guy, I can't, with this belly, I couldn't really get in there, but that needs to be thinned for sure. This branch here, way too many. But you can see on the tips where I was really good about thinning that these turned out absolutely beautiful. I mean, seriously, life does not get any better than that. Oh my God. So take it from me, thin your fruit, don't be greedy. Nature will give you a lot of yummy, delicious fruit on your tree, but you can't have too much of it or your branches might break and then you'll be really sad. So thin your fruit early in the spring and you will be so much happier come harvest time.